Hello there. Episode number 289, Tommy Maroon Sports Show. I cannot wait for this one because should be good. You see my name, you see the show, because that's what we like to do here on WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television. Anyways, enough on me, more on the sports. Let's talk about the Cleveland Guardians. Yes, sirree. Now, the team pitching leaders have not been that bad lately for the Guardians, of course. Gavin Williams doing a good job, leading them with a 3.26 ERA, 9 wins, 143 strikeouts, 129 whip, and 213 average, whereas Tanner Bybee also has 9 wins. He's got the only complete game for Cleveland this season. He has 154 and 2/3 innings pitched, which is more than anyone else on the Cleveland Guardians. Anyways, time for the series recaps. First, we're going to start off by talking about the Guardians against the Mariners, because the Guardians won that series, so that's always a good thing. Winning it 2-1. Manzardo homered in game 1, and then the Guardians had to come back because of that dude right there, Mr. Stephen Kwan, who hit the walk-off sac fly in game 1, and everyone was happy about it. Down 4-3 at one point in the bottom of the ninth. And the Guardians said, you know what, that's nothing, and resulted in a good old win. And you can't complain about that. Can't complain about game 2 when you saw Gavin Williams go 7 innings and give up 4 hits on 1 run, so there is that. Not to mention the fact that Manzardo had 2-run jack in game 2. Oh yeah, John Kenzie Noel's back in the big leagues. I forgot about that, but we'll get to him in a bit. Because Daniel Schneemann homered in game 3. And Randy Rosarena had a 2-run bomb for Seattle in game 3. They got the last laugh. Anyways, folks, what else is out there? We got the Guardians at the Red Sox. It was a 2-1 loss for the Guardians, which was always tough. But they did take this game you're looking at right now. Trevor Story hit a home run down Pesky's pole that was oddly a home run. Very hard to describe in game 1. But Manzardo hit another homer in game 1. So Dan Raffaella had 4 RBIs and a home run in game 2. And John Kenzie Noel back in the bigs, as mentioned. He hit a home run 2 nights ago. And then last night, the Guardians really poured it on the Red Sox. Joey Cantillo, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 7 punch-outs. And Stephen Kwan had himself a good one, of course, as you might expect. The dude went 3 for 5, had an RBI, and Gabriel Arias hit a home run, as you see right there. And Jose Ramirez had 2 RBIs, despite the fact that he went 0 for 3 in the contest. So Guardians are dead even with 69 wins, 69 losses. That's 10.5 back of the division lead. Yeah, some's telling me they're not going to win the division. Some's telling me that it's going to be really hard to make the playoffs, too, because, I don't know. They're 3 games back of Seattle for that 3rd wild card spot. Now, Seattle has not been doing bad lately, but they haven't been doing that good either. They lost their last 3 games, having been swept to the Tampa Bay Rays. But they have it a little bit easier when they take on the Atlanta Braves in a bit. They've lost 5 of their last 6. My goodness, the Seattle Mariners. But I think they have it. And the Guardians are not looking too good right now. Because who's this weekend? A red-hot Tampa Bay Rays team at Steinbrenner Field. And then it's a 4-game set against Kansas City. 3 against the White Sox. White Sox. 3 against Detroit in Detroit. Then Minnesota 4, Detroit 3, Texas 3. So after everyone thought it was going to be really easy for the Guardians, it winds up being very difficult towards the end, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody except the White Sox and Twins are vying for a playoff spot. But anyways, hopefully the Guardians can get something brewing. Tommy's Picks Recap. Yes, sirree. Let's look at that. Anyways, you see the results out there. Highland won 32-0. That's not surprising. They do a good job. We do a good job. Here's something that was a little surprising. Euclid, which is falling on some hard times lately, they beat Berea Mid-Park 28-26. That was really shocking in my opinion. I mean, maybe they found a new leaf or whatnot. But anyways, Brecksville just got by Talmadge 14-7. My upset of the week, Stowe, they got murdered. My upset of the week, Barberton got murdered 49-14. Berea Mid-Park was my lock of the week, if you recall, last week. Oh well. Hoover beat Medina 42-17. Strongsville took down Solon 28-7. Strongsville is 2-0. And Lorraine, the Titans beat Elyria 41-14. And Olmsted Falls took down the Devils of Brunswick 29-15. Olmsted Falls 1-1. Brunswick 0-2. Not a good start. I know it's still too early to panic, but you've gone 20% of your season now. That's not really that little. But anyways, Rhodes beat Lakewood in a shocker, in my opinion, 34-12. And, of course, Buckeye beat Amherst 21-13. Lake Catholic beat Avon Lake 21-14. Avon Lake in deep trouble now. We'll get to them in a bit. North Ridgeville beat Valley Forge 37-12. North Royalton bounced back from that game against Valley Forge with a win over Worcester 43-13. Woodridge, they beat Brookside 28-0. Cloverleaf, how about the Colts? They beat Keystone 22-6. And Columbia beat Fairview 27-20. Vermilion, they beat the Firelands Falcons 42-12. Austintown Fitch gets back after a tough loss to Hudson last week, 41-3. And Riverside edges Green 16-15. For college football on the Division I level, Ohio State in a defensive dogfight, to say the least. They got a win over Texas, and what I thought was going to be a win for the Longhorns, but it wasn't. 14-7. Tennessee beat Syracuse 45-26. Penn State, my lock of the week, beat Nevada 46-11. How about me picking Florida State? Lee Corso on his last game day also picked Florida State, but I also picked Florida State. I knew it. How did I know it? I'll tell you how I knew it. Alabama's overrated. They don't have Nick Saban to bail them out, as Thomas Castellanos pointed out in the offseason. And he was right. I knew it. Alabama, Kalen DeBoer's in over his head as the head coach of Alabama. He's not him. He does not have it. He is just not that guy to answer the Alabama questions. And I would not be surprised if he's out by the end of next year. LSU beat Clemson 17-10 in Death Valley of Clemson. South Carolina beat Virginia Tech 24-11, an odd score there. Miami got the win over Notre Dame, and I'm really bummed out about it. A huge kick in the final minute. Carson Beck now in Miami, they got the win there. And Notre Dame's last-ditch effort did not work out, and it's really disappointing. Purdue beat Ball State 31-0. Kentucky beat Toledo 24-16. Iowa had about maybe 10 more points than a lot of people assume, maybe 14 more points than a lot of people would assume. 34-7 over Albany. And how about USC? Oh, you God, 73-13. BYU, same thing, 69-0. Washington State just got the win over Idaho, 13-10. Cal beat Oregon State 34-15. Troy beat Nichols 38-20. And TCU beat North Carolina 48-14. Time for Tommy's picks for this week. We got D3 football. We got the NFL coming your way, because that's always fun. Of course, we got 21 games because there were 19 games last week for my picks. But anyways, Highland's going to steamroll Avon Lake. My goodness, it won't be close. Because Highland's number 4 in the state, according to Drew Paster's Fantastic 50 rankings. Oh, I'd hate to be a Highland hater now, especially after tomorrow night. And speaking of Avon schools, the Eagles will beat Glenville. The Tar Bars won't be a good game. Avon lost last Thursday night to Spruce Creek on a 50-yard kick that sailed wide left. But they still got a great team nonetheless. Manor my lock of the week against Lowey's St. Ignatius. I don't know what happened to St. Ignatius. They used to be so good. Now they're not. Benedictine will beat Lutheran West. I think Bedford's going to beat Padua. What else is out there? Mayfield, Nordonia, got to go with the Knights. Jeff Fox picked up his 100th career win at Nordonia, so there is that. And Medina against Wadsworth, I think the Grizzlies are going to beat every ounce of everything they got against Medina. Stowe will finally pick up that win against JFK. Well, yes, they will pick up another one, I ought to say. 2-1, excuse me. Barberton will not finally pick up that win. That's what I meant to say. They will lose to South Range. Southeast will beat Cuyahoga Falls. Green against Talmadge. Got to go with Green. Now, Revere had a week off. Apparently, they had some foot and mouth disease issues, too, just like Norton, which is kind of shocking. But anyways, Valley Forge, I think, is going to beat Revere. I know they had an extra week to prepare, but still, we'll see. Canfield will beat Cardinal Mooney. Strongsville, Olmsted Falls is going to be a good game at Packatan Stadium, but my upset of the week is going to be Olmsted Falls. O'Leary against Brunswick, 2-0-2 teams. One school in the Greater Cleveland Conference, the other one used to be. I got to go Brunswick. And Brecksville, Berean Mid-Park, I think Berean Mid-Park's going to hand Brecksville their first loss of the season. Midview against O'Leary Catholic, got to go Midview. Westlake will beat Warrensville Heights. Amherst, the Comets will beat North Olmsted. Wake over Rocky River, and McKinley over Cleveland Heights. Now we go to the right side, where the Evil Empire's playing Wheaton. I think Mount's going to win. Their quarterback, I believe, is the Riverside grad, Mikey Maloney. He's very dangerous from what I heard, and I saw him play last year against us at the end of the game. He was burning us like toast. Cortland against Grove City. I got to go with the Cortland Dragons, I believe. Salisbury, the Seagulls are my lock of the week against Ithaca. Hart and Simmons will beat Chapman. I got Wisconsin Platteville beating Aurora. And the Carnegie Mellon Tardans will beat Chicago. Here's an upset for you. Wisconsin Oshkosh. They're going to beat Linfield. And the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets, I want them to beat John Carroll. Been a while since the Yellow Jacket team has beaten John Carroll. Hopefully this team will. And the Marietta College Pioneers will beat Westminster, and Heidelberg will beat Hiram in the Terriers. Gettysburg, the Bullets against Juniata Eagles. Got to go with Gettysburg. Case will beat Rowan. The Polar Bears of Northern over Franklin. BW, go Jackets. We got Wittenberg. At Wittenberg Saturday, I got to go with the good old Yellow Jackets. Allegheny against Denison. Got to go with the Gators. Fighting Scots of Worcester will beat Wilmington. Muskingum against MSJ is going to be a good game, but I think Muskingum will win. And Kenyon against Bluffton, got to go with the Owls. Time to go to FBS and the NFL. Yes, sirree. Boise State against Eastern Washington. Got to go Boise State. They'll bounce back. Duke is my upset of the week. They will beat Illinois in a good game. Illinois is ranked high up there, too, if I'm not mistaken. Iowa State against Iowa. Got to go with the Cyclones. And SMU will beat Baylor, so Baylor will not pick up their first one of the season just yet. Texas Tech's my lock of the week against Kent State. Well, Kent State, they almost lost last week, but Kent State actually picked up a win. Good for them. Oregon against Oklahoma State. Got to go with the Ducks and Dan Lanning. Rutgers will beat Miami. Cincinnati against Bowling Green. I don't know why. I'm thinking Bowling Green's got that game. Charlotte against North Carolina because Bill Belichick, I don't know what he was doing thinking he'd be the head coach of North Carolina. But you know what? I think he wins this week against Charlotte. If he loses to the 49ers, he's going to be fired immediately. Army will beat Kansas State. Houston over Rice. Toledo against Western Kentucky. Got to go with the Rockets. And Mississippi State against Arizona State. I got to go Arizona State, the Sun Devils. Oklahoma will beat Michigan. Boston College over Michigan State. And BYU will beat Stanford. Time for the NFL. Tonight, and only tonight, it's the Eagles against the Cowboys. In the NFL kickoff, the Cowboys lost Micah Parsons. The Eagles didn't lose anyone, essentially. Eagles win. Tomorrow night in Brazil, I believe, Chargers, Chiefs. Got to go with the Chiefs. Falcons, Buccaneers. Bengals are going to beat the Browns because the Browns suck, which is really sad. But oh well. Colts against the Dolphins. Got to go Miami, even though I almost picked Indy for some odd reason. But I think Miami's got that game. An early candidate for Tank Bowl, if I say so myself. Jaguars against the Panthers. Got to go with the Panthers. And another Tank Bowl-like game early on week 1. Patriots against the Raiders. Got to go with Vegas. And another Tank Bowl-esque game. Saints-Cardinals. Going with the Saints to upset the Cardinals in Kellen Moore's first game as head coach of New Orleans. Anyways, Jets-Steelers. Got to go with the Steelers. The Commanders are my lock of the week against the Giants. So, I don't even know if James Winston and Russell Wilson will start for New York. But I do know the Broncos will beat the Titans. 49ers over the Seahawks. Lions-Packers will be a good game at Lambeau Field. Well, I think that the Lions are going to win it. Rams will beat the Texans in a good game there. Bills will just edge out the Ravens. And the Vikings will beat the Bears. I think the Bears are overrated in my opinion. But that's just me speaking. And you know what's also me speaking? Next week we're going to talk more sports. We're going to talk about the Guardians. We're going to talk about high school football, D3 football, FBS football, and of course the NFL and Tommy's picks. Of course the Guardians are not part of Tommy's picks, but everything else is. So there is that. And I can't wait to bring you it. Conference play starts next week in high school football, so be on the lookout for that. Tommy Maroon, thank you for watching on WCTV. Have a good one, everybody.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.